So do I just start, or do I say start and then go? Okay, thank you. Hello, AIESEC in Paraguay. My name is Louise, and I'm part of AIESEC Canada right now. So to start off, I want to tell you a bit of a story. 4 years ago, I met someone who, in a very small but significant way, changed my life. Her name was Sandra, and she was the LCP of the local chapter of AIESEC at my university. She didn't know it, and at the time, I didn't know it either. But my meeting with her would end up shaping my life at university for the next 4 years. It was my second week at university. I had gone to a university that was 2.5 hour drive away from home. And this was going to be the first of 4 years where I'd be living away from home. Everything was very exciting. It was very loud. There were huge orientation parties. University classes were big and exciting. And every single student club was crowded in the main student building trying to recruit new members. It sounds pretty straightforward from there, but it sort of isn't, because the local AIESEC chapter at my university, AIESEC Western, did not have a booth at the main student building with all the other clubs. So for days, I wandered past these tables, listening to students trying to get me to join their clubs and organizations, and I had no idea AIESEC even existed. I found out about AIESEC by accident. So I was sitting in a first-year biology class when an advertisement for AIESEC was shown at the front of the class, and my friend leaned over, and she asked me to go check it out with her because she didn't want to go alone. I honestly had no idea what she was talking about. I hadn't been paying attention, but I said, okay, yeah, sure, let's go. I have nothing better to do. So 2 days later, we went to see what this AIESEC thing was all about. The information session was in the basement of the main student building at a room at the end of the hallway. So it was very, very hush-hush, very secretive, very kind of a little bit sketchy. But, and the information session itself was a little bit scattered, and at the end of it, I thought AIESEC was a little bit interesting, but I wasn't really convinced about anything. And then Sandra walked over, and she sat down with us, and she had a conversation with me and my friend. And we talked about a lot of things, about what it was like being at university for the first time, how classes were like, her experiences in AIESEC, all sorts of things. And Sandra was really friendly, and she was really easy to talk to. But what stood out to me was how passionate she was about AIESEC. I thought, wow, I wasn't sure about this organization before, but Sandra is really into it. There might be something to this organization that I didn't know about before. And at the end of that conversation, I was more convinced to give AIESEC a chance. At the end of that talk, Sandra said, okay, we have a regional conference next week. I think you should go to that, and then after we can decide whether or not you want to join AIESEC at Western. So I thought about it for a little bit. It was a 3-day conference in another city that was 2 hours away by bus from the university, and I would be going there surrounded by people I didn't know, because I only had one friend who wanted to join AIESEC with me at the time. It sounded terrifying, but at the time I told myself, Louise, you are 18 years old, you are an adult, you are living away from home for the first time, and these are going to be the best years of your life. So if you don't take any chances now, you're going to regret this for the rest of your life. So I took a leap of faith. I went to that conference, and I had a great time. And at the end of that, I came back to my university, and I joined AIESEC for real. And now, 4 years, several roles, and many new friends later, I'm here now, and I'm ready to take my next big step with this organization. I learned a lot in AIESEC. I studied life science in university, and AIESEC taught me things that school never did, because the two were just really different from each other, like science and AIESEC. So AIESEC allowed me to develop skills I probably wouldn't have been able to develop just by going to class every day. And AIESEC gave me an opportunity to experience things a lot of people in my age group probably didn't get to experience at my age. I was pushed to step out of my comfort zone, try new things, work with people from all walks of life, and to develop skills I never thought I could develop before. And I was encouraged to do all of this and to do more and to do better by Sandra and other AIESECers I came to call my friends during my time at AIESEC Western. I gained a lot from AIESEC in my first few years with the organization, but the most valuable thing that AIESEC gave me was the chance to be impacted and positively influenced by AIESECers around me, including Sandra and her leadership team. So time passes, and one day, 1.5 years ago, on the very last day of our national conference here in Canada, a member stopped me in the Sugar Cube room on the last day of the conference, and he said thank you. I had just been elected LCP for AIESEC Western that year, and This member was somebody I recruited 3 months ago to be part of the OGX team, and he'd never been to a conference before. That year, the national conference for AIESEC Canada was held in a city that was pretty far away from our local chapter. Canada's a really big country, and to make things difficult, our national conference falls over New Year's Day every year. So I had to convince this new member to make a considerable financial investment, fly 4 hours west to the other side of Canada, and then spend 5 days, including New Year's Day, at an AIESEC conference instead of at home with his family. And but I did it, and I didn't think too much about it at the time, but on the very last day of that conference, he pulled me aside and he said, "Louise, I want to thank you so much for introducing me to AIESEC. I've had a great time, I've learned so much, and I'm so glad I found out about this organization." That was the day I realized something. I realized that day that not only had AIESEC changed my life, I was impacting the lives of others through AIESEC in small but significant ways. In a way, what happened for me when I first joined AIESEC was happening again, but this time I was playing the role that Sandra had played for me. I was contributing to the lives of others in a way that was hopefully positive and exciting to see. I gained a lot of things in AIESEC, but I was just starting to see that I could give back as well by impacting the lives of AIESECers and EPs and helping members and our relation to the organization grow in small and humble ways. So why am I telling you this? In some ways, it's a story about how a leap of faith can turn out to impact your life in very significant ways. But the part I want to focus on is this. AIESEC gave me the opportunity to impact people's lives in positive ways, whether that be helping them to go abroad on international opportunities or just making their time as a team member as valuable and as fun a learning experience as possible. And I found that I want to continue doing this for as long as I can. I applied to be part of AIESEC in Paraguay not only because I've come to love AIESEC, but there was an opportunity to do more for the organization. I want to continue impacting lives in the way AIESEC has allowed me to do these past 4 years. I want to work with you, AIESEC in Paraguay, to reach more youth, contribute to yours and other AIESECers' lives in ways that are as rich as how my life has been contributed to these past 4 years. I'm aware that AIESEC in Paraguay has a very different reality to AIESEC in Canada, but I believe that the desire and the ability to impact lives through this organization is universal throughout all of Canada. Throughout all of AIESEC. I want to do my best to help AIESECers achieve and learn and grow and to create impact that can be passed on from person to person, like how Sandra passed it to me and how I'm doing my best to pass on to as many people as possible. And I'm doing my best to continue doing that starting here. Thank you. Hello? Okay, thank you.